How's the stash?
Glorious.
That's what I'm talking about.
Live from downtown Nashville, Tennessee.
This is StacheCast. Let's go.
Welcome to our ridiculous sports show.
Hello, everyone.
It's a frat party at a golf course.
That was one hell of an intro. I enjoyed every minute of that.
Come on. Do you even want to win?
He's like running into a 12-story building.
You want to talk about a whooping on national television?
I'm not playing for the next 2 hours. Bring me some chicken.
StacheCast, baby.
Let's go. This is StacheCast. This episode is all about March Madness, baby. Let's go. Crazy weekend, a men's tournament last weekend. We're primed up for another wild one here in the Sweet 16. This is StacheCast, presented by Nashville Stash from downtown Nashville, Tennessee. As you can see, we are still on location for another episode with our friends at Southern Collective Spirit Company. Go check them out at southerncollectivespiritco.com. It's custom bourbon in a custom bottle. It's an experience. It's amazing. You got to come check it out. Shane Wyatt, co-owner, is here with us to talk about the madness. And we're going to recap upsets, the heartbreakers, breaking the sports books with the professor's picks from last weekend, from the betting special from last week. He absolutely killed it. It was amazing. And we're going to look ahead at the matchups and predict who we think will be the last team standing. We are, like I said, fortunate to have been allowed to do another episode here at the Southern Collective facility here in their distillery, in their main lobby, at their bar, with this epic backdrop right here. And Shane, you stuck around to dig into a little bit of the madness. So let's get it. As always, I'm joined by my stooges, Joe Hudson from North Carolina, Alex Alper from Los Angeles, California, and Jared Jones from Phoenix, Arizona. And my right hand, K Love, is here with us in studio. Glad to have you, babe. I want to start with the biggest upset of the weekend. So Purdue goes down, the 16 seed Fairleigh Dickinson, and busted a lot of brackets. But I've been preaching about Purdue being pedestrian all year.
Check the tape. Check the tape, Nick. Check the tape. Somebody called it. Called it.
And that's... And he's just a little bit ahead of me by like 4 seconds, because I was going right to my man Alex, who on the special said, watch out for Purdue to go down in the opening round to Fairleigh Dickinson. Alex, let's start there, because your epic weekend, 29-7 on the unders. Like, we're talking, you called a lot of things the first half unders. Let's start with this Purdue upset.
I knew nothing about Fairleigh Dickinson like most people, but I watched them in that first four matchup on the second day, and they do something that Purdue's not good at, and that is pressing. Ridiculous. They've got Edie, who's literally the size of the entire state of Indiana.
12-story building. Yeah.
The guy is enormous. All you got to do is like Keyshawn said, give the man the damn ball. I think in the second half, he had 7 shots total. It's hilarious, because FDU is one of the smallest schools.
Yeah.
Like, no one could match up with his team, but FDU did a great job of pressing, of getting them out of form. And Purdue, like Joe and I have talked about, or like JJ and I have talked about all year, just they have good games and then they completely fall off. They've got no continuity. All they do is have a damn 12-foot wall.
Yeah, big time. So Shane, did you watch any of the games this weekend?
I didn't have much time, man.
Didn't have a lot of time. Real busy with the bourbon over here.
Kansas, Iowa, I don't watch much.
Well, Kansas got taken out by the boys in Arkansas. Muscleman whipping the shirt off, round and around your head like a helicopter. Shout out PD Pablo, sponsor us. But, Iowa, Auburn was really playing. I was playing, we talked about it last week. Auburn was really a home game playing in Birmingham. And they, 8 and 9 matchup, you really kind of have coin flip. We leaned towards Auburn just because of the home field advantage, essentially, that they had. But we do a lot of betting on this show. We talk about a lot of betting. We put a lot of bets out there. We risk it because you definitely get, you stick your toe in the water. If you're wrong, they let you hear about it on the social webs and the interwebs and all of that. But we put them out there. My man Alex, we call him the professor, and he was making a lot of points that came to fruition from a standpoint of statistics on people traveling the farthest and how those games turned out in the first half, the first couple of games before noon on the first couple of days, and how those unders and overs were affected by them playing early. I mean, the fact he's made the statement, we're talking about college kids getting up ass early to play these games. They're not used to it. So the first half, it takes a little while to get the rust off. The second, I guess the first round, Thursday and Friday, there just wasn't a lot of upsets from a seeding perspective. There was the Big 16 over Purdue. There was the Furman over Virginia, which again was another one of those upsets that we discussed on the show last week. Yep. And then, you've got Princeton that beats Arizona. Princeton, the only team that got to the Sweet 16 out of the double-digit crew, and saved the stat. The stat is, I'm pretty sure every year of the tournament since how long? Since in the 2000s. A double-digit team has made it to the Sweet 16, and this year the Princeton, the 15, was the team that was able to save it. But one of the things that I noticed about this year was that there was no 12s that beat a 5 this year. Did not happen, and we'll have to check the stats.
Drake.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Drake. You just didn't get it done. And after watching Drake on TV in that game, I was like, I just don't see it. Like, they got beat, but I didn't see them going very far.
They didn't score a single point in the last 5 minutes of the game. Like, they had the lead, and then they were like, game's over. They might as well just gone back in and just sat down. They didn't score a single point.
Right.
This is ridiculous. And they were up the entire game.
Yeah. You'll have that on the big jobs. But second round, San Diego State takes care of Furman, knocks them out. UT knocks Duke out, which nobody sitting in this room saw coming.
Neither did America.
I didn't expect them to show up. I didn't expect them. But one of the things that we talked about in our little group chat while the game was going on was, if they referee this game like they've refereed the game before that, it was a fucking knockdown drag out. They were letting them play. And if they let Tennessee play that way, Tennessee gets all up in your business, and if they can foul and get away with it and get up and get too close to you, it could cause a problem. And it ultimately it got Duke, which nobody saw coming. Then Arkansas takes out Kansas, and you're just like, what's next? Princeton takes out Missouri. Now Houston and Alabama, Texas, UCLA, they win. Gonzaga has the comeback against TCU, which I'm sitting there watching the game thinking my bracket's about to be just extra screwed, the way these last couple of days have gone. But my question would be to the group would be, if you were to take the 16 teams that are left and you were to re-rank them based on who's injured, you've got Sasser's got the groin with Houston, Miller's apparently dealing with something with Bama. You've got some of these players in these key positions but if you were to re-rank the 16, who's the favorite to come out of this group based on the matchups? Because if you look at it, UConn's got to get through Arkansas, and then they follow up if they would have to play, I believe it's Michigan State or Kansas State.
Gonzaga or UCLA is who UConn would play next round.
Okay, so Arkansas or UConn would play UCLA or Gonzaga. But I mean, if you're looking at it, how do you re-rank them, or do you still think that the seeding is accurate?
No, you got to re-rank based off of how they're playing and what they're doing.
Yeah. So who's the best team right now?
Alabama's look really good. I think they're firm at a number 1 seed. You can't even. That's no.
Brandon Miller hasn't looked very good yet. He didn't score a point in the first round. So if you've got
Michigan State,
Kansas State is an interesting matchup, because the winner, here's the reason it's an interesting matchup. You're looking at it from a place trying to get to the Final Four, the road to the Final Four. Michigan State has to get through Kansas State, which is not an easy matchup at all. Kansas State has got some dudes on offense. But if they win, they play the winner of Florida Atlantic or UT in the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four. I would rather go through Florida Atlantic or UT than Arkansas or UConn's got to go through Gonzaga or UCLA. And the other side of the bracket, if San Diego State, Alabama, the winner of that game plays Princeton or Creighton. Probably
it's
going to be Creighton.
Much easier out of the South. Alabama plays San Diego State, which will be a tough game, but they're favored 7.5 and minus 360. They would have to play most likely the winner, most likely Creighton versus Princeton. I think that's almost an easier matchup. And then it's almost 1 through 4 on the other side, like the Midwest and the West. It's just about Houston's number 1 seed, Miami's a number 5, Xavier's a number 3, Texas a number 2.
Yep.
And likely a UConn versus the winner of Gonzaga and UCLA.
Right.
And what about Arkansas? I mean, they did knock off Kansas, and that's huge. I'm sorry, Shane. But I mean,
K-Love, I think
you
Kansas
gotta
is
look
one
at
of those
them.
teams where
I don't know. Kristen was super.
Where
into
Kansas
basketball.
probably
I'm over here trying to learn about this. He's
Yep.
over here dropping like
Yeah.
16, and so I'm like, I gotta get that pad right there, bro. Let me get
Take
that.
some notes over
Yeah.
here.
Go ahead,
I think-
JJ. Go ahead.
Taking some
I think-
Kristen notes over here.
I think Kansas and Texas could have been flip-flops. You talk about reseeding. Kansas has been streaky. They're a really good team. Texas got the best of them in the tournament and during the regular season at the end of the year at home.
Sure.
I think that's a easy flip-flop in the reseeding. Arkansas has been at coin flips. We talked about on the last show all through the year. I think they're getting better right now. Really like Coach Musselman. UConn should watch out. I don't know that it matters though between that Gonzaga UCLA matchup, which I'll take UCLA, but the Zags, it's hard to ever bet against them.
Okay. What about, do you put any weight on the stat that nobody from the West has won the national championship in a long time? It's been a while.
They've also
Just-
never had
They've got
the
this
tournament
curse
has
kind of
never-
thing.
they've never had a tournament in Las Vegas, a tournament game. This will be the first March Madness game in Las Vegas in the history of Las Vegas. They had that rule that you can't have gambling where you're having a college athletics like for a big
now
tournament.
That's all changed, huh?
Now that changed in 2019. They got rid of that law. So this will be
Beautiful.
the first ever March Madness matchup in Las Vegas. And I'm sure they were hoping for Kansas people because they travel so well, but that didn't work out. Sorry, Shane.
Yeah. Well, everybody's
Yeah,
really
no.
feeling sorry for you in Kansas.
I don't know why, man.
He's not really a big Kansas guy. He probably just lost $5 on that bet.
They
Well,
were the team that was bet on the most to win it all this year.
750s.
I
Kansas
mean,
For
was?
the record.
that was
Kansas
all, that
was,
was all
yeah.
media. I think JJ's right. If you watched them play, they got beat twice by Texas. They didn't look like they didn't look like a team that was consistent enough. I think you'll have a lot of that back and forth stuff. We talked about Purdue being flip-flopping from 1 week to the next, but Kansas had elite talent, but they didn't have anybody that could take over the game and actually, I mean, the guards at Arkansas have a little bit of experience. They have some guys that they just, at the end of the game, it looked like Arkansas they looked like they were going to do it. They just looked like they had that look in their eye. And I mean, the look in your eye has a lot to do with it in these moments and, in March Madness, but
I don't know about Bill Self either with his health. and
yeah,
I don't know if that had any.
was he there in the
played into
second
it.
game?
No,
No.
No, wasn't there for either.
That has to have. I mean, you don't have your head coach. That
Yep.
definitely affects you. It has to.
huge.
Yeah.
There's so all those things kind of play. Does this injury stuff with Houston and Alabama and the time giving them a few days, between last weekend to get ready for the Sweet 16? I mean, if they're all healthy, then it's a moot point. But if Sasser or Miller for Alabama, if they're kind of got a little hitch in their giddy up, how does that affect you? Does that make you say maybe that San Diego State or Miami can bang that upset in the Sweet 16?
I think
For sure.
I think the few days are going to work for Alabama, and then they've got an easier path. Houston, I'm not sure if there's definitely some injuries. Calvin Sampson talked about it at the end of the press conference. That's all he talked about the entire time was injuries. I almost wonder when you hammer something down that hard if you're kind of throwing up a little smoke and mirrors to try to fool Miami here, because I think Miami can absolutely beat Houston. Indiana should have been there and smacked the shit out of Calvin Sampson, but it's a song for another time.
Yeah, unfortunate for IU, both the men's and the women's had heartbreakers to Miami. So a couple of, I bet they
24 hours.
They have
I'm,
there's nobody in Indiana
brutal,
that wants
though.
to go vacation in South Beach anytime soon. Everybody's like, and if they do, they're definitely keeping that red and white at the house. I'll tell you
Caleb,
what.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, bro.
Do you want to see that Tennessee Michigan State matchup? Because Tennessee plays Big Ten basketball to me in terms of their defense, and as we just talked about, they beat you up if the referees will let it go. I want to see like an old school Big Ten beat you up, wear your heart on your sleeve matchup there with two legendary coaches.
I would love that. I would love to see Tom Izzo break another board as well in half. I'll be honest. I mean, I try not to be, biased when it comes to, you know what, Alex, you're one to talk. Don't even start with me.
Go on.
I'm talking about for my bracket because I'm trying to win. So that's different.
True.
But so
those
one
picks
bracket
are
I did
good,
pick.
man.
Yeah, I know. One I did pick Tennessee, the other one I did not. So, because it is Duke and, but so I was, and I always cheer for my team, but, I had to kind of pick. So,
You can't see the bedazzled Tennessee on the
dazzle on the back, at the front.
Yeah, she's
I would love to see that though, especially seeing them play as physical as they did. And they have to bring that again. Like it is March Madness. It is the tournament. They're going to have to bring that same intensity and that same, physicality each game going forward in order to continue to, prosper and conquer in that realm. So I'm all for it.
Conquer.
That's right.
Write that down. Write that down.
I would love to see that. That'd be intense.
Nothing
We'll
like
see.
definitely prosper and conquer. That is, and I think that the likelihood of that game, like you say, you talk about Michigan State having a similar style to UT. There's a good likelihood we get that matchup. There's also the opportunity for Kansas State to get to play Florida Atlantic in the Elite Eight and get a cakewalk into the Final Four. But the way that this tournament has been going, it's like it's almost you expect the upset or you expect something to happen, and it's just not going the way that we thought, except for Alex. If Alex called it, it was probably true. So Alex, I know you kept track of every bet that you made, but how overall, like, hit me with some of the high points of the bets that were winners that you called, and then what you like for the Sweet 16 Elite Eight.
Sure. So obviously we talked about this on our early show before March Madness, but obviously Furman over Virginia, we all talked about as being a possibility. We said hit it hard on that money line, and I hope you did because damn, they won. Also FDU, 16 seeds over number 1 seeds at the time were 150 versus 1. And now it's 150 versus 2. So way to go to FDU on knocking off Purdue. One of my faves, Kennesaw State, they covered plus 12.5. They only lost by 5. Penn State, another one we said to hammer hard. They won by 17. We had UConn big as well, and they won by over 20 points. Northwestern -2. We hit that. We had Creighton -5.5. Like we did work, really
son.
well.
We did work,
really
son.
well in that.
Hey,
we
know what's fucked up though is Virginia has the worst first round luck. I mean, they're the other loss to the 16 seed, and then they got beat by 13 first.
2 years in a row. 2 years in a row, right? That they lost in the first round to
2
a 13
years
seed.
in a row.
It's rough up there. And where are they? Charlottesville?
Like
that's
40 minutes from where I grew
rough
up.
stuff. It's rough stuff up there. Anyway, sorry to break your stride, Alex. Get back on.
That's all right. The unders were 32-16 for that first weekend. 32-16, which is crazy awesome. We had everyone hitting unders as well. Definitely on that USC game. We were all over the place. We did a great job in that first 2 days, and we've got some good ones too. I've got 4 good bets for you guys for this next round.
That's what I'm talking about. That pencil going.
Mattress Mike also Mattress Mike, he put or Mattress Mac. Wow, sorry.
Mattress Mike is the poor man's
his
version.
brother. Yeah.
He's a stripper.
He bets $5,000
XL mattress, Mike. I like
and
that.
you get IKEA furniture.
Mattress Mac put before the
Sweet
tournament
balls and
started. He put 500K on Houston to win at 10-1 odds. If you were to take that same bet now, Houston is 4-1 odds. So his bet is looking pretty good. I'm sure he could cash out and make some money right now if he wanted to. And then we talked a little bit about Princeton. Princeton is the only double-digit seed in the Sweet 16.
Right.
Double-digit seeds against the spread since 2011 are 16-7-1 against the spread, which would then tell me you got more than a 50% chance, as you do for most bets. But that putting some money on Princeton isn't a horrible idea. But I've got 4 bets for you guys. All of them have to do with over-unders. And the first one we'll talk about is Michigan State, Kansas State. So Kansas State has
Right out of the gate, first game Thursday. Let's go.
has the 44th fastest offense. Those guys like to push the ball. They're 110 in offensive efficiency. And what they do the best is the cut plays, cut to the basket. Michigan State ranks 321 against teams that cut against to the basket. And they are also ranked 320th versus catch and shoot threes. And that is exactly how Kansas State got where they were. In the first 2 games, Michigan State hit the under in both times, and Kansas State hit the over both times. Kansas State has the 8th highest transition frequency. They're a top 50 team at getting to the free throw line. Kansas State is going to try to push the ball, and Michigan State's going to try to slow it down. I still like the over 137.5. I think Michigan State's going to end up getting behind and have to go into a more speedy offense. And when they do that, they're going to fall right into Kansas State's hands. Michigan State's a good team. It's hard to bet against Tom Izzo. I'm not saying they're not going to win. I'm saying bet the over on 137.5.
I like it. First game out of the gate. Win you a little money out of the gate. See how it goes. And then we got Arkansas, UConn after that. You got anything on? You like that game?
I do like Arkansas, UConn. Arkansas has shot the hell out of the ball from the free throw line, 78% at the free throw line, which was way, way, way better than they did during the regular season. But UConn is second in the country off of the offensive glass. Like, those guys knows how to rebound the ball. UConn also attacks the rim, has great free throws, and it's all going to be about quick putbacks. The whole game, attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line, and getting those offensive rebounds and the quick putbacks. So I like the over. I like the over in that game, 139.5.
Good.
139.5.
And
then
UConn is so, I think you're right about them being down low. They're so dominant down low, and they hit the glass hard that,
so good.
That when you start to look at a team like Arkansas, great guards, but down low, that's a weak spot for them. They've had trouble with bigger players, and you look at Kansas, they don't have a dominant big man down low. They're predominantly wing players and guards, and they were able to get them. I feel like the presence that UConn has down low gives them an edge in that game. But at the same time, March Madness, all about guard play, right? So you kind of have to say, all right, if the outside guys are knocking down shots, they could probably lean that way. So to double down on what Alex is saying, in a game like this where it could end up ultimately being, a strength on strength kind of thing, take the over, because I think there's going to be a lot of putbacks, a lot of offensive rebounds, a lot of layups on the UConn side. And then, when it comes down the stretch, you're going to get 15 to 20 extra free throw points throughout the game because both teams knock down their free throw. So
UConn has
139.5. I love it.
UConn has some great value for winning this whole thing as well because of that same setup. They match up really good against both Gonzaga and UCLA. An injured UCLA with their center Bona would match up really well, and we'll see if he can even keep playing after these next couple of games. But like I said, UConn is 9-1 odds to win it all, and if you're going to take an underdog, that would be the one that I would take.
Looking at UConn, they've averaged 78. Looks like, and Arkansas has averaged 73. So 151 combined is like their average so far in the tournament.
Yeah.
Seems like, what did you say? It's 139.5. Nice.
139.5. And then we'll go to that orange team. What are they? What's their name up there?
Texas.
Yeah.
Texas one?
No, the other orange team.
Oh,
The
sorry,
better
my
looking
bad.
orange team.
Oh,
False.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Nah,
I'm talking about
love you.
Tennessee, the better looking
Tennessee,
orange team.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. Now we're
That's the
talking.
game. That's the game we're going
And
to
then
talk
he
about. Calm
totally
down.
redeems himself.
There it is.
There you
And I
go.
thought you couldn't do anything any dumber.
Yeah.
So,
Tell me, you had those
Tennessee-
extra set of gloves.
Has hit the under in their last 6 games since their point guard Zakai Ziegler has been out.
Hey, A+ pronunciation. Good job.
Thank you. I worked on that one. Top ranking defense efficiency, according to Ken Palm, is Tennessee. Now, FAU is not going to press. They're not a fast team. They take a really long time. They're 286th in defensive average possession length. Tennessee is going to play a half court game. Their half court game is very similar. Always the same. They're going to take mid-range jump shots. They're going to hit some post ups. Well, FAU
It's going to be 28 to 21. Let's go.
FAU is in the top 50 in guarding basically those exact same 2 things in defending mid-range, in defending attempts, in half court efficiency. So neither of them look like they're going to score a lot of points. I like the under in this one, 131.5. Neither are in the top 200 in free throw efficiency or even getting to the line. So I like this game to be under 131.5.
I agree with you. I'd also look at that first half line as well. One of those types of games, those slow types of games that start out slow like that, where you got 2 half court teams. I'd look at probably a quick, easy parlay, first half full game parlay on the under, double down on that. Really good defense on both sides. And, you know,
Can't triple
like you
stamp
said,
a double stamp.
You can't triple stamp a double stamps, but they play slow. And, you know, I think that, you know, they do score a lot of points with the clock stopped because they do get to the basket. They do shoot a lot of foul shots. So keep that in mind when you're looking at that over. But if it's hovering around 68, 70, I think you bang the under on the first half as well as that full game. That's just my 2 cents on that.
I love this bet too.
Alex,
Sorry, go ahead, Caleb.
I was just going to ask, do you have an additional bet for Tennessee on who Tennessee is going to make bleed orange this time? Just like Flopkowski, that's what I call him.
Oh,
at Duke.
Oh, for Duke. I mean, it was pretty funny that guy was like, whoever the tall guy is on Tennessee, who was literally like the first play of the game, like, oh, I'm going to make myself heard. And then he got 2 fouls within like 45 seconds of each other. And it's like, way to go, buddy.
Flopkowski. That's what I call him.
The first one he steamrolled him. The second one he did take. Well, the first one he flopped. The second one he did throw a little hip into him. Bang! Take that.
Yeah.
Take that.
He was a pussosaurus, and he got what he deserved.
There it is. That's,
Don't mess with us.
You guys shot an amazing from the 3-point line. You are over 50%, I believe, in that game.
Which
and
is
if Tennessee shoots over 50% from 3 in any game, they're gonna win.
Yeah,
doesn't matter who they're playing.
That with the way they play defense, yeah, for sure. But I mean, the reality is that lightning in the bottle thing
is probably not going to happen.
No, it's not. And there'd been Jekyll and Hyde. We've talked about UT all year. I mean, in depth. They tend to be the type, you know, the buddy that can't, it always seems to be a different person every time he shows up at the party. He's always blending in. He doesn't have his own personality. He's kind of he gets pushed and leaned and you know, he's, you know, over here and he's over here. That's UT. UT gets pushed. Basically, they let the defense determine kind of how they play. And they just, it's like, I don't know. They're just one game. They look like defensive juggernauts, and they're hitting 50% of their threes. And Rick Barnes looks like Coach K. And then the next night, it looks like Bethune-Cookman's JV squad against the Monstars. And you're like, what happened? Anyways, But
They'll have some time now.
Blacked out.
yeah, you'll have that on those big jobs. You'll have that.
Alex, FAU could only score 78 points against Fairleigh Dickinson. And 10 days ago, if you would have told me you'd give me $1 million to name where Fairleigh Dickinson is, I would have not made any money. So
I'm still not making any money.
Somewhere in New Jersey.
I know they're in Jersey somewhere.
I like that dude though on FAU. I watched that guy, against the FDU game, the John L. Davis guy. He had like 29, 12, 5, and like 5 steals. And the thing was, like, if you watched it in the game, this guy was literally like just going to get the ball. Like, whether he was on offense, he was getting the ball. If it was a rebound, he was getting the ball. And they just seemed like zoned in. Like, I'm not going to be rooting against Tennessee.
It looked like the
really
6-year-old. Looked like the 6-year-old rec
watch.
league. That one good player kept running and getting the ball. You give it to me. Don't pass it. I'll take it. Dribble coast to coast. I'll score it.
Yep.
I'll play the defense. I'll take care of it.
Kansas State looked like probably the most fun in week 2. Like, just with some of their highlight plays. Like, man, that guard was just lighting
Behind the back, through the
that
legs.
was fun, man.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Oh yeah, dude. What's his Noel? What Noel? Gosh, what was his last name?
Boynton or something like that.
I don't know. Noel something Noel or Noel something. His dude is fun to watch. But because we're at real quick.
I got a quick question.
Oh, okay.
I
Go
want
ahead.
to ask the professor a question.
Ask
for my own personal gain.
Let's go,
If
man.
that's cool.
Let's do it.
Because he's got a Southern Collective bottle. It disappeared, I guess. I don't know.
There it is.
There it went out.
Southern Collective.
All right. So UT, FAU, who we going with?
Oh, to win the game? Are we talking about the point spread? Are we talking about the money line?
Throw it all out there, man.
So right now,
Tennessee. This is a
Tennessee.
need to know.
This is yeah. I have zero right to know, but I 100% want to know.
Got you. So right now, Tennessee is favored to win this game. They are minus 250. So you would have to bet $250 to win $100. Whereas Florida Atlantic's basically 2-to-1 odds. They're plus 210. The point spread is 5.5, and the over under is 130.5 at the moment. I'm betting the under. I think this game will probably end up being closer than it should be. If I had to bet on the money line for one of these games, FDU or Florida Atlantic is now 31-3 this season. They are good. They are cooking with gas. Tennessee still scares me. I just don't think that they're going to be able to keep hitting those threes.
So you think they're going to take UT?
I think that if I'm taking anything, I'm taking plus 5.5 if I have to take the spread. But
I agree.
I'm putting, if I've got to watch that game, I'm putting it on the under, and I'm standing up, taking my shirt off and cheering for defense. Defense.
You're smacking the floor.
Yeah, I'm Wojo. I'm Wojo from Duke. I'm slapping the floor. Let's go.
That's awesome.
I want every shot blocked. I want it all done.
I think Alex has one more bet.
Yeah, we're not done. We're not done at any way, shape, or form. But since we're sitting in Southern Collective and we got this beautiful Southern Collective glass in front of me, what's it called? A snifter?
We call it a baby Glen, stemless Glen,
a baby Glen. We got Angel Share, Whiskey
Swanson,
Thieves, baby
Samson,
Glen. What's in it? Well, tell me what's in this baby Glen.
Pancakes.
You got it.
Pancakes.
So, this is a it's kind of fun. We actually, when you guys in the middle of the episodes, we did we ventured into some rye.
AJ has no idea what a fucking snifter is. He's like, what are we talking about?
So we ventured into some rye whiskeys, right? We're talking about our earthy, peppery, minty, floral, spicy profiles instead of the more delicate stuff that we had before. So
talking dirty.
Yeah, real dirty.
I'm trying. But so we did something. This is a release that we're gonna put out at. It's gonna be a rye whiskey, so it has those profiles I was talking about. But what we did with it is there was a barrel that aged maple syrup. So we took the maple syrup out of the barrel and we put the rye whiskey into it. So it's not like a flavored whiskey. It is still cask strength. Yeah. And so what it's doing is pulling those maple characteristics out of that wood that, it earned essentially when it was in the barrel. So but yeah, you guys go ahead and try it. It's
all right.
I would do the same thing before. Take a small sip, a little bit bigger sip. If you want to add water, you're more than welcome to. But
all right. And real quick, so everybody, just to recap, so everybody knows, we're at Southern Collective Spirit Company, downtown Nashville, Tennessee. This is a custom experience. You come down here, You get to get educated on the bourbon, on the taste palette, and build yourself a custom bottle that you can't find anywhere else. And they've got a bunch of different ones in the gift shop. You can do a custom one. They're all cast strength. It's a beautiful experience down here. Check them out, southerncollectivespiritco.com. But right now, I'm going to try a little of this.
Let's do it.
Pancakes, baby. A little of that there.
This is my jealous face.
Oh, guys, we'll get some samples out to you for sure.
That one sounds amazing.
You can smell. I can smell the syrup in my left nostril. You know that's my weakness.
Some people don't pick it up. Like I've heard people say, like it's sweet, it's sweet, it's sweet, and then I'm like, hey, it's maple syrup. They're like, I got you on maple syrup.
I can
just can't
smell
quite
the
get it.
sweetness.
Yeah, I
smell
like
it.
the vague
All the way from LA, you can smell the sweetness
through the smog. Gosh,
there it is.
yeah.
So that's kind of cool that you take stuff and you put it in a barrel that used to have different. What kind of other shit do you put it? What maple syrup?
Honey's a good one.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
love honey finished stuff. Yeah.
But you're a wine guy. You ever do anything with like wine barrels?
I'll get you one. I'll get you a wine pour right now. I got one right here.
What?
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
See, that's what the problem is when he's got 700 bottles of different things right here. He's like, oh, you want to try this?
Yeah.
Bam. And that's what happens when you come in here and you start to go through and he's like, hey, let's start here. But there's no telling where you're going to end up back here. And you're going to finally end up in one of these special bottles and you're going to take home a bottle of pancakes and you're going to be super excited about it.
So good.
Maybe we'll get waffles too. You know,
It's like Build-A-Bear
bacon.
for bourbon.
It's
Right.
orange
Breakfast.
too.
Build a barrel. Here
Yeah.
it is. Good stuff right
Look at you,
there.
Joe.
All right. And even K Love is into it, man.
I am. I
This
really
is
like
cool,
this.
man. All right. We
Oh.
got to try this.
No, you don't have to try this one right now. I'm gonna tell you, this is gonna be
We'll try this one later.
we're spreading way too
If
far.
you
on
could
the
see how
spectrum,
many
but
glasses of bourbon are laying around here, you'd be like,
What-
guys,
What
there's
did you
no
guys?
way you're going to be able to finish this show.
What did you guys think about the rye?
The rye
maple,
is
that maple
always-
finish.
That rye is always, for me, has always had a little bit more burn. That one didn't.
You guys remember when we tried the cast strength rye? Like you got a little more
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
full body
That was
flavor.
the one
Now,
we took the whiskey. Kick,
correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Bam.
So this just dulls it out a little bit, right? You dull those like earthy notes. And
You guys, I'm
hit it
so
with
sorry
some,
that you guys are just sitting there with your mouth watering right now. But
I'm sorry.
No,
but
it's
we'll
great.
send you some.
so let's go back to Alex, man. Let's get back into these
Sweet.
bets. We're over here sipping bourbon. I want to listen to my man, the professor, tell me more about this game. Now, I've got this Gonzaga UCLA game pegged as one that I really want to watch, just simply because I want to watch the game because I think I like watching both teams play. I like both coaches a lot. I think that both coaches are well beyond, Mark Few, most winningest coach, his record or whatever. His resume speaks for itself, but I really like the guy at UCLA. I can never remember his name. He's the best dressed. He gets that award every year. It's Mick something, I think. Cronin. Mick Cronin. There it is. Go.
Or Pirates of the Caribbean.
You got to keep her around. She keeps me in line. I love that. But this Gonzaga UCLA game from a betting perspective is for me on the surface is a no-go. What about you? What about you, Alex? What say you? Dig into it for me.
This is a perfect segue into the game that I think we should bet on, and that would be UCLA versus Gonzaga. Once again, like we mentioned,
It's almost like we do this for on a regular basis. It's like we kind of or something. Anyways,
there it is. Must be the bourbon. Once again, this will be the first ever game in Las Vegas since that 2019 law was gotten rid of. But Gonzaga is going to come in. They're going to do a lot of things. They're going to pick and roll with Timmy. They're top 35 in the country with isolation. Also,
him and Watson are good together, man.
I love Timmy.
Yep. Also catch and shoot threes, and they're going to post up. UCLA doesn't rank higher than 193rd in the country at defending any of those things.
Now, how does that big dude down low gonna? Because he's not like we talked about. You talk about big men that can play. Like Timmy's got an outside presence, but Boner does not have that ability. He is just big and kind of lumbering a little bit. Like he's great on defense, but as far as further out than 15 feet, I feel like Timmy's going to eat his cheeseburger all night long.
And I agree. I think the thing that UCLA is probably a little more worried about is that sharpshooter David Singleton was injured in the last game.
Oh, yes, he was.
High ankle sprain. This guy is just straight nails,
man.
senior guard. He's he's going to play. It was just an ankle sprain. They thought it was going to be a whole lot worse. So
Is he more
hopefully
like a
he'll
spot
be
up
back
shooter
in.
or a creator shooter.
He's one of their better catch and shoot 3 guys for
You
UCLA.
can do that with a sprained ankle and be okay.
But he's really good on defense. He's a leader. He's a locker room guy. He's a good player. He really
It's more
is.
than points too. Just
yeah,
the
he's a good
momentum that
player.
comes
I
with
really
a
like
big
Singleton.
three.
And I hated seeing it because it was coming across the top of the key and just kind of one of those weird, kind of funky, stepped on a dude's foot, kind of sprained ankle things. It was, so glad to see that he'll be back. But I guess my question is, when you talk about UCLA, the only question I really have is, what the hell's going on with his hair? What's going on with his hair? And y'all know who I'm talking about.
It's brutal.
It's like
Tiger.
It's like a afro dread that's floppy and big. How do you manage that? Because it doesn't look dirty. It just looks weird. It's like the weekend went to Jamaica and came back, and
I haven't even seen it.
Dude, turn on your TV. It's Tiger Campbell. Tiger Campbell.
Yeah.
What
Also,
is going on with that hair, bro?
Pirates of
He's
the
got the best
Caribbean.
hair.
Yeah, and then Jaime Jaquez looking like Pirates of the Caribbean. There's just a whole Hollywood production out there in UCLA with their little 5'6" like 3-piece suit coach, whatever.
Yeah.
UCLA, but I mean, I said that a team from the West hasn't won the national championship in a while, and you made the statement that there also hasn't been a game in the tournament played in West of anything. They're playing in Vegas. So when you look at the games, you look at Gonzaga, UCLA, very close. They're on the West Coast. That's good. The Arkansas UConn game, does the UConn traveling to Vegas have anything to do when you start talking about the distance traveled, or are we done with that because it's only a first round thing?
It's only a first round thing. We're done with that because they have so much time now to prepare. So
they have
all that, and the point spreads are going to be way
That's
closer and right on, as well as the over unders. Like if it goes over or if it goes under, it's going to be by a point or maybe 2.
Right.
Vegas has done their math for this round. Everything gets a whole lot closer, but unders in the Sweet 16 since 2018 are 18-6. So once again, more than 50% chance that it's going to go under, and the odds are in your favor. But for this game, UCLA is going to pick and roll in their half-court offense. And guess who is the most efficient at defending the pick and roll in the half-court offense?
I'm guessing Gonzaga.
That would be correct. Both teams average 10-0 runs during a game 79% of the time, and they allow 10-0 runs 26% of the times or less. So if I'm hammering anything this entire weekend, it is the over in this game. UCLA lost one of their best defenders for the year. Guard Jalen Clark is out, and he has been. Their freshman has been doing very well, but once again, he's a freshman. I imagine both these teams are going to shoot better than they did. I think this game is way, way, way over 145 and a half.
To go back to what you're saying about the preparation aspect of it, because that's an interesting point. Because some of these teams have had almost a week, 5 days,
for sure,
to prepare for this team. How much of that time, and I guess I wish this is one of those times where you wish you could phone a friend, you could call a coach that coached in college and say, how much time do you spend on, like, if I'm Gonzaga, UCLA, how much time do I spend on looking at Arkansas or UConn before that game? Or do you have to have, because I hear that, because I hear a million people going one game at a time, got to beat this UCLA before we think about, but you spend 5 days preparing for UCLA if you're Gonzaga, and then you spend 12 hours preparing for Arkansas or UConn and to get to the Final Four. There's no way that there's not a coach when you got 17 of them on the sidelines, that there's not 2 of them that are sitting in a hotel room all effing night watching film on UConn and Arkansas so that they're ahead of the game for the next game, right? Right?
I think you're spot on. I can just throw it back to when we were in the postseason. We had 2 advanced scouts in Seattle, 2 advanced scouts in New York. So I'm assuming out of the 6 coaches they have, everybody's obviously locked in on the current matchup, but then you split the other 2.
Well, the players play. The players play. They go out and they execute game plan, what they're doing. They're doing what the coach tells them. But I'm looking at it from a preparation standpoint, from the coaching standpoint, because that's I just feel like there's
you have one.
There's got to be
you have in the first round. You've got one coach working on one side and one coach working on the other side of the 2 potential teams that you can play. But for this one, you are just worried about that game ahead. You still have another coach doing a lot of prepping for your potential next game. But for those 5 days, you are just focusing on the team that you are playing next, because there is no tomorrow after that.
I agree. Yeah. And I think that's what you're saying on the to the outside world for sure. But I don't think that that's necessarily the actual case. I definitely think that
they got other people, other staff members.
Yeah, they got other staff members. They got associate coaches doing this and that. Let's go down south. San Diego State, Alabama. Brandon Miller, a little bit banged up, didn't look good. Sounds like a stay the hell away from a game to me. Alex is waving his hand.
Those are my 4 bets. I looked at everything else.
So you're only betting on Thursday. Friday, you're done. You're waiting on Saturday.
Yeah.
I got you. Well,
yeah, I gotta go deeper into those for sure.
Well, just if you want to talk about gut feelings, you want to talk about what I've seen, you talk about eyeball test on Friday. I've got my eye on Marcus Sasser for Houston. And I am watching him like a hawk because if he's not going to play all 40 minutes and he's going to be coming off and he's going to be on the bike trying to loosen that groin up, or he's not going to be as explosive, or he's not going to take the shots or go to the basket or do all of the things that got them to be a number 1 seed in this tournament, Miami can bite them and they can send them home and piss off Mattress Mac, piss off everybody in Houston that was hoping for the Houston team to win the Houston National Championship. Miami's one of those teams, and they've got that kind of history of being a pain in somebody's ass, because I honestly don't think they get past Gonzaga or UCLA if they win that game.
They're missing their best player, just like their point guard, just like Tennessee.
I completely boogered that up.
They're playing Xavier.
They played Xavier. I don't think they would beat Xavier or Texas if they won that game. That was the point I was trying to make.
I agree.
Because Xavier Texas is an interesting matchup, because you've got really good defense, really good down low, really big, long team defensively at Xavier with a really good coach in Miller. And then you've got Texas, who is, like I said, when they were wandering around in November looking like a calf staring at a new gate, just lost as last year.
Take that interim tag off that coach and make him the real deal.
They've gotten it going, and they were playing beat Texas a couple of times there to finish the year. They've looked really good in the tournament. I don't want to play Texas if I'm Xavier, but at the same time, I don't want to play Xavier if I'm Texas. So either one of those matchups are going to be tough coming out of that Miami-Houston game. I think that Houston's probably a healthy Houston's more equipped to beat one of those teams, but I don't think that Houston gets past Miami. And if you want my personal opinion, I think that Miami plays in the Elite 8 against Xavier, and Xavier goes to the Final Four. And not to jump ahead into some predictions, but if I'm taking anything on there as far as some upsets, I feel like there's some little upsets that people are overlooking because the seeding is a little closer, and I think that it can actually happen. And I haven't looked at the spreads, I haven't looked at the over-unders, but that's my gut feeling on that.
I think you're spot on. Miami and Houston, the spread is 7, and I'm like, Miami's played together for a while. They played their ass off. I don't know. I'm with you. I see an upset game, especially when the point spread is 7 in Sweet 16. I'm going to be on it. The other one I'm eyeballing is Princeton 9.5 against Creighton, just because they've knocked off 2 teams.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, take it on the flyer. I would, but at the same time, if I'm going to take Princeton on there, I might throw 5. I might throw a little small bet on the spread. But I'm probably going to throw a number on the money line, because that's going to be a better return, just as you're going to take that flyer.
Plus 390.
Yeah, 4-1. That's pretty
Creighton?
good.
No, for Princeton.
Princeton.
Creighton.
But if you think about it, 4-1 is not that big of an underdog, considering, Creighton's got a pretty good resume. They had a really good season in the Big East. They're a good basketball team, and they can put up some points. I'd be curious to see. Do you think that there's a chance that Princeton's offense doesn't quite perform up to the level that everybody expects it to, and that's why the over/under so low? Because I feel like, it's one of those games that
Creighton is minus 550. They're the biggest favorite in the Sweet 16 of all the matchups.
Because they're
playing a 15. Yeah, I think the time is done.
The spread's also what?
10.
Yeah, 9.5.
So you're saying there's a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're getting into. But with we talked about, obviously the reseeding and the power rankings are adjusted now that we're down to 16 teams. But who's everybody got in their Final Four now? If you could redraft a Final Four now out of the 16 teams, I'm gonna start with JJ since he's not paying attention, and I want to ask him what he thinks about the Final Four. Who you got coming out of each region?
This is an easy one for me. I think Alabama, Miller gets hot at all, and they've got the easiest route. The winner of Michigan State, K-State, for me, goes the distance. I'm going to take Michigan State. I really want to see the Izzo Barnes matchup. I think that'll be the first time we see that Zakai Ziegler really bites Tennessee in the ass, not having that veteran leadership at the end. UCLA, I'm going to pull on through, as much as I hate saying his name, Jaime Jaquez. It's like you want to try to get shit out of your throat.
Amen, buddy. Amen.
He might pull him through, and then.
By the way, just take a quick pause. Fight on. Let's go. There we go.
And I'm gonna go Texas over Xavier. Texas. I'm not even interested in Houston, so Texas will continue on. I'm gonna go Alabama, Texas in my final.
Okay, interesting. Alex has made his USC switch. I love it when he does a wardrobe change. Joe, you were in the BFE mountains last weekend, but you were able to get caught up on all the madness and what's been going on. Now that you're plugged back in, who you got?
Well, first, I liked how earlier Alex kept talking about how great we did on our bets. And I had absolutely nothing to do with it. In fact, I'd like to remind this entire team that I went out on a limb for no reason. I just hand selected a team. I was like, who am I going to bet on to just go far? I was like, Final Four, who's going to upset somebody? I picked Iowa State, who proceeded to score 41 points, the lowest number out of every team that played in the whole fucking tournament. So yeah, we did a great job.
Yeah, we did great.
But
Alex
to be honest, man, I'll tell you, like, getting caught up and seeing some of the highlights, I definitely was. This was like I was kind of pissed. Like I was like, damn, I think I missed like just a great tournament. So good. Honestly, I think Alabama, I agree. Like it's kind of tough to pick against them. I think Kansas State really excites me, and I'm kind of just really interested about like I would like to see them go. I'd like to see UConn go. And I do think that it's a complete toss up in the Midwest, like all four of those teams. So I'm just going to close my eyes right now and point to my bracket. We're going to go with Xavier. So I got Xavier.
There it is.
I like that method.
Yeah. Throw a dart at it, right?
I just did. Finger dart.
There you
go. Because Xavier would have beaten Iowa State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got? Orange vest?
I do not have Tennessee, just so you know. So I'm not biased.
Whoa.
All right. I have.
Stop the press.
I do have Alabama. I have Kansas State, and I have Texas, and then Gonzaga. And I still think I had it to begin with of Alabama and Texas in the championship game, and that's still who I have.
There you go.
Look at you, championship.
I love it. Shane, who you got?
Man, I don't know. I'm going with Mattress Mac, bro. I like
Houston strong.
He's a wild card, and he does dumb shit when he bets. I can fuck with that guy. Like I'm going to Houston.
Yeah, we love Mattress Mac.
Yeah, I like it.
So Alex did one of his segments. We do sports business with the professor, and he breaks down the business behind sports. It's always awesome. But we did an episode on Mattress Mac, and we started breaking down what he does, his business, the betting behind it. the business idea behind it. It's so cool how he does it. But if you haven't seen that episode of Sports Business with the Professor at Nashville Stash on YouTube, go check it out. But so who
Sponsor
else?
us.
Who else? Who
Mattress Max sponsor us.
Mattress Max sponsor. Who
Please.
else?
Trying, dude.
You're doing great. Who else you got besides Houston?
Man, I think it would be. I think UT would be fun. Being from Tennessee, do I think it's going to happen now?
All right. So
Or
we
to
got
be
UT,
honest.
we got UT and Houston. Who you
In
got
the finals.
in the is that who else? Who you got between
Finals, I think. I'll Kansas State, Houston.
Kansas State, Houston?
I like it.
Wow.
There you go.
Go
All
for
right.
it.
There you go. Alex.
I don't like UCLA. Sorry.
Same. Wow. I knew we were best friends.
Southern
Amazing.
California people hate USC, hate UCLA.
Oh,
I've
well,
learned that.
You were half right there. Yeah. Yeah.
You're a USC fan?
What? No, never. Why would I be?
He's only got his USC season
Yeah.
seats in his background.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That's because no one wants to buy him. That's why he's got him in the background.
There it is.
There it is. There it is.
I had a buddy play for USC football back in 2007 through 11, 7 through 10, whatever it is.
So they were awesome.
We were very
Sponsor-
good.
Yeah,
Sponsor us.
yeah, and he, I guess and we were Notre Dame fans growing up. Our whole like Pop Warner the whole time.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
ended up went to a Servite High School in Anaheim, California, and ended up signing with USC. And I was like, bro, I thought we were Dame fans. What the heck? And no, I'm not going Notre Dame.
Oh, well,
That'll happen
All right.
on them big jobs. Yep.
that's right. That'll happen.
Oh,
on the
he
big
beat
jobs.
you to the
All right.
punch.
Who you got, Alper?
So I'm gonna stay with the picks that I made before this tournament started. I will stick with Alabama, Houston, and the Zags. I had Marquette in that last Final Four shot, and obviously that didn't work out too well for me. So I will take Kansas State as well, and then we'll have Alabama playing. Alabama's coming in the semifinals on the left side. On the right side, my mom's from Spokane.
There you go. Go Zags. There you go.
Go Zags. And I think this might be the year that the Zags take it all, but that's just betting with my heart. If I'm betting with my head, it'd be Houston, Alabama, and Houston wins it all. Mattress Mac.
Well,
Put that bet on there
that's-
tomorrow
that's
now.
Definitely.
The professor said it. I'm in.
Professor said it.
That's all I need.
I'm gonna
Life
go
savings.
a little.
I got one more. Hold on.
Oh,
I got Sweet 16 by conference, you guys. The Big Ten, JJ, started with 9 teams. They have 1 left. The Big Ten, the Big East started with 6. They're down to 3. The SEC started with 6. They're down to 3. The Big 12 started with 6. They're down to 2. The ACC started with 5. They're down to 1. The Pac-12 started with 3. They're down to 1. So Big East, SEC, by
Alex, your
far the
favorite.
best. I know.
Well, total
by
number
far
of
the
SEC
teams,
is
best.
coming
like-
up in basketball,
Yeah.
not only in football, but dominating in basketball. Suck it.
This is very good.
Suck it.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Throw one goalpost in the river and you think you're winning it.
Yeah. Just one. All right. So here's what I got. And you guys can, play. I'm playing a little bit of devil's advocate here, but I think that Kansas State beats Michigan State, and then I
Yep.
think they beat UT to get
Yep.
into the Final Four. I think that Arkansas loses to UConn, and I think that UConn beats Gonzaga in the Elite Eight to get to the Final Four.
Don't disagree.
I think Alabama beats San Diego State, but I think it's a nail biter. I think it's one of those oh shit games because I think that they're going to play Xavier in the Elite Eight, and they're going to beat. Or no, wait, excuse me. I think that they're going to play Creighton in the Elite Eight and have a easy road to the Final Four. I think that Miami beats Houston. And I think Xavier beats Miami to get to the last Final Four spot. And
Wow.
so I have a
Texas going down.
Texas going down. So that's what I got. So we'll see if Xavier and let's see, what did I say? Kansas State, UConn, Xavier, and Alabama. That's what I got.
Are you taking Miami this week?
We got the same one.
I'm
You and I got
taking
the same
Miami
one.
over Houston.
Yeah. Listening to
Miami.
Joe, you are.
Just
Man.
definitely change all your bets right now, bro. I already said that quad, and they're guaranteed wrong.
You
better
said
change.
you said Kansas State, UConn,
Alabama and Xavier.
Xavier.
Yeah, but the last one was a finger point dart throw, so
Hey,
that doesn't
finger point
exactly count.
wins.
Well, there you go. Then I'm with Joe.
Fuck yeah!
Wow.
let's do it.
I'm sticking with it. I like
Team
that.
Ramrod,
I think
baby. Team Ramrod.
Ramrod. Yeah. Whatever.
For Iowa State.
Remember Iowa State?
I'm
Oh,
all
yeah.
highway.
All right. So stay tuned. I'll shoot a updated pick before the tournament games start tomorrow at 5:30 wherever they're playing, probably True TV and all the whatevers. We watch on YouTube TV, sponsor us. So I don't really know what channel anything's on anymore. I just flip it on and just watch it. It's the way it is. Can't wait till they get that NFL Sunday ticket again, which is another sports business with the professor episode where we talked about the broadcasting rights to NFL. Another plug. Definitely go watch it. It's at Nashville Stash on YouTube. Don't hesitate. Do it now. And I don't mean now. I mean right damn now. Let's go. What's going on, man?
Sponsor us.
I like Shane. He spits. He's got a plug.
And if you've got a
show, beautiful stash. This is amazing.
If you've got a gambling problem, you're probably not listening to this show because
Hold
we
on,
just
wait,
pick
let me
winners.
tune in. What were you saying?
Because we just pick winners. But if you do, 1-800-GAMBLER will help you stop that
Can you
horrible,
spell that out
horrible
for me, the
addiction.
professor? I didn't go to
Absolutely.
college,
Thank
dude. I need
you.
to
Thank you
spell
for
it
that,
out.
Alex. I couldn't agree more. Bet responsibly, guys. We make a lot of jokes, but at the end of the day, we bet on stuff that, we think is going to win. But at the end of the day, we're betting what we can afford to bet. We're not putting ourselves and our families in a bind. It's for fun. It's a hobby. We're not professionals. We're not putting stuff out to try to help anybody, break the bank, but we do win, and we do win a lot. If you listen to Alex, listen to him a lot because we sure do fuck them up, and I love it every time. So, sweet game start on Thursday at 5:30. Check them out. We're starting off with Michigan State and Kansas State, and if you listen to Alex, we're taking that game. We're starting. It's all Thursdays, all his bets. Taking that under. So stick with us. Follow us at Nashville Stash. Shane, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
Thank you, Shane.
You're a saint.
I'm sorry that this episode, I'm not the biggest college basketball fan. Not gonna lie.
Me either, bro. Me
Dude,
either.
it's not about that. We're here having a good time. We're hanging out.
I came here for the professor.
Making some notes. Getting some
I got
picks.
notes. I took notes on his
love
picks
it.
for
Yeah.
sure.
That's what we do every time. I've got notes. That's what we do later, and you have to join us on the. We'll add you to the group chat because we definitely talk trash and look at all the stuff that's happening and all the bets that we're betting on and keep track of them in real time. And that's what makes it fun because we're doing this for fun. We hang out. We're actually really friends. We actually spend time together. We actually talk all the time. So this is one of those things where we actually get to experience them together and have a lot of fun. But this is something special. Again, we are at Southern Collective Spirit Company in the heart of Nashville. And this is one of those things that is really cool to me. It's really cool for us. And we couldn't be happier. We couldn't be prouder to be doing it with you. So thank you to you guys
for coming. I appreciate. I know this is kind of not your normal studio, but it was a fun.
We upgraded.
We upgraded for this one. Definitely.
I think we do it again. I think you guys are welcome anytime, and we can rock it here anytime.
I love it.
Let's
do it.
go.
We'll do it.
Let's go.
We'll get back in here and we'll do a deep dive. We'll take a tour and we'll see what's going on with Southern.
We got
Collective.
a big enough bar for 6 people. So
there
you
you
guys
go.
come out,
We'll
let's
fly
do it.
you guys in. And
I don't
we'll
even
do
need
it.
to be
I
on
love it.
camera, man. I'll sit there, just be on the side. Just get ripped.
No, if you're here, you're in. You're in
Let's
for
do it.
sure.
I mean, we'll do it again for sure.
Shane,
Dude.
the MLB winter meetings are in Nashville this year. I'm not going to get a room. I'm just going to bring a cot and just fucking.
Boom! Right in the gift shop.
When are you coming? When is it?
It's the first week of December. Well,
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
see me there.
stay-
You
That
know,
sounds like that's going to be
can
the
stay with
I
me,
need a
dude.
shower thoughts.
Yeah, he'll be on my couch with his shower.
I live
I need a shower.
like a mile off of Broadway, so you can crash with us if you want to.
Oh, what
Aw.
a saint! Look at this.
The,
Friends of the show.
Guardians will probably give him a room.
Yeah,
and then I will
probably
just
not. Probably
What
not
just
the
happened-
budget bombers are probably not going to pony up for a room at the Renaissance. You know what I mean?
Call budget
Yeah, we got some room for you, man. We'll take care of you.
I love it.
Perfect.
Well, dude,
Looking forward to it.
guys, Stooges, the crew, the
forgot we were
cast.
recording still.
I love this thing, man. We have a blast every time. Thank you guys for everything that you do. Shane, thank you for joining us. You guys, thank you for listening to the StacheCast. You can check us out on all the social media platforms at Nashville Stache. You can check out Southern Collective Spirit Company on all the social medias at Southern Spirit Co. On TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You go check them out and see what they're all about. We'll definitely do another show with these guys and get a closer look at what they're doing behind the scenes. But March Madness, baby, it continues. Sweet 16. This is it. Till next time, we'll love you big. StacheCast out.
Come on, take me on your UFO. Yeah, on your UFO. I've been on some other shit, just lost my fucking brother shit. Now I think it's time to beat myself back to the mothership. J-Rock is my co-pilot, that's the one that I hover with. Love the way we stubborn like we rule our own government.